Now we can go to our correspondent Alistair Leithhead, who is just outside Sirte for us this afternoon. Alistair, a very good afternoon to you. What's the latest from the assault there?
Well, we've just entered Sirte with the forces of the National Transitional Council. If I step aside, you'll see the smoke behind me there, and we'll zoom in. It's not a great line, but you should be able to see the lines of NTC troops there with their guns all pointing inwards. They are pointing towards the city centre of Sirte. It's just a few miles away, and there's been some heavy fire. You can hear that in the background. That's a bombardment coming in from the south of the city, and the troops here, we've watched them actually go into the city itself. They've taken the green flags down, they've pulled them down off the light poles, the lamp posts, on their way into the city. And then, of course, they moved into the streets itself. And so the battle for Sirte has been going on over the last hour here. And clearly there is some resistance from the pro-Gaddafi forces. We've had artillery shells that have been landing quite close to here. Certainly they've been hitting the positions where the NTC have been firing rockets from, have been firing their heavy anti-aircraft guns towards. I'd love to be able to swing you around further here, but we're actually crouching behind a big water tower at the moment. On the other side of that is the city. Very clearly, it's just there. There are buildings, high buildings. We're cautious in case there are snipers up there. And as we speak at the moment, the troops from the NTC are moving through those streets, are firming up their positions, and are preparing to go further and further forward. What we don't know, of course, is just how strong that defence is going to be. Are they going to continue fighting to the death, every street by every street, or is that going to stop? They've only just taken this entrance to Sirte, and that was quite a surprise. They've moved very quickly over the past couple of days. The fact of the matter is, the sun, as you can see, is getting low in the sky. It's what happens now, whether they hold those positions, expand those positions this evening, or what. We're just waiting to see ourselves. But it's difficult to move from here because of the risk of incoming fire.
And Alistair, what's NATO's role in all of this? Have they been involved at all in any bombing of Sirte?
Well, NATO is buzzing overhead at the moment and have been all day today. The smoke behind me, what they were saying was that was caused by a NATO bomb. We didn't see that bomb come in. We don't know for sure. That's a roundabout. That's a major strategic point. And that is Sirte's centre. The actual downtown bit is a couple of miles up the road. It's a big city, 100,000 people. So we are right in the city. We didn't see that bomb. We don't know if that's what they did, but certainly there have been reports of NATO bombing positions of pro-Gaddafi forces over the past 24, 36 hours.
And Alistair, what's the situation with civilians in the town? We've heard reports of people fleeing, but also reports of people not actually knowing that the NTC had actually taken over.
That's right. Some people had said that they hadn't even realised they'd taken Tripoli. No, I think it's the way you see people's faces when they come out to see. It's fear. It's not relief. They don't know what to expect because this city has been cut off for months. They've been fed propaganda which has told them that if they left, they would have their throats cut by the rebels, that they weren't liberating them, they were going to persecute them. That again is the sound, I think, of incoming fire into the city itself. A real bombardment that's going on behind us. And a lot of those civilians have been coming out in cars, on the backs of pickup trucks, with all their possessions, with their blankets. Once they've realised that what they're going to get is a bottle of water and some petrol to get them further out of the way and down the road out of danger, then they've realised what's actually outside of Sirte itself. There are a lot of people, of course, still inside the city at the moment. This is a very, very dangerous time for them because of the fighting that's going on all around them. That's just celebratory gunfire from the NTC troops. But it's a matter of how long it takes now, because it's clear that the NTC forces are going to push further into the city. And if the resistance is there, then that's going to be very bad news for all those people who've spent months with running out of resources of food and water and now finding themselves in the middle of a pitched battle.
Okay, Alistair Leithhead, they're reporting from just outside Sirte, as you can see. Keep your head down, Alistair. Thank you very much indeed.
Correspondent Sue Turton is in eastern Sirte for us. Sue, this area has been particularly tricky for NTC fighters. What's been the progress?
There's been a major progress today. We have moved a good 15 kilometres from where their front line was yesterday, and we are now in the east of Sirte. Behind me, A plume of smoke, you can see the Libyan fighters are telling us that was a NATO attack. We've heard NATO in the air all day today, and they're telling us that is one particular area that they've hit. We can't completely verify whether that's true or not, but that area we're looking at is the main eastern roundabout in the city, and the fighters tell us they've taken that roundabout, they've taken down the green flags that were around that roundabout, but they're now fighting to hold on to that roundabout. They say they've also taken mercenaries who were engaged in the battle there, but there is still a major fight going on here. Hearing rockets going backwards and forwards. We are seeing mortars, tank shells and small arms fire we can hear as well. So the Gaddafi loyalists are very much trying to hold this side of the city, but at the moment it seems that Libyan fighters do have the momentum and are managing to push all the way, and we are hoping to be able to go even further into the city before nightfall. Of course, this is just the eastern side. We do know that the south and the west have been told to hold the line, really, till the east catches up, because the east has been much further back compared to the other sides of the city, and certainly today they have managed to do that. They have managed to catch up, to put a ring around the city.
One of the issues were the status of the civilians there. It was being said that they were used as human shields in many areas. Can you tell us where or what the situation is regarding civilians in the city?
We know a lot of civilians have left from each side of this city. We've seen a steady stream of cars coming out with families with very scared looking children sitting in the back, and women coming out trying to get out of this city. We were also talking to some of the fighters who've been told that living here over the last few weeks has been really quite bad. Even the cost of petrol rocketed, and people couldn't even buy basic things, that there was a stranglehold really being put on those that were still here. But we do get the sense that a lot of this city is now empty. A lot of the fighting that's going on across towards the port, which is kind of up to my left, a lot of the fighting there is in an area that looks like it's still under construction. Large blocks of flats look like they're still being built. They're being shelled quite heavily, and it seems that a lot of the Gaddafi positions are in that area. So you would hope there are no civilians in there. But as to whether they're being caught up here, a lot of people are still saying they think this is a sort of ghost town in certain areas, and hopefully those civilians aren't being attacked behind us.
Sirte live for us.